I'm Allison8Bit, and I'm joined with Quacksilver Plays.
Hello.
And we're going to be showing you Haiku the Robot Any Percent today. We have about a 30-second cutscene at the start, so I'm going to count us down for timer to start. It'll be 3, 2, 1, go. So Haiku the Robot is a Metroidvania game made by Mr. Morris Games that released in April of this year, with a Switch release coming up very shortly. And it's a fantastic game, both casually and as a speed game. In traditional Metroidvania style, we're going to get some movement abilities, find a bunch of different storyline bosses we need to fight, and then go beat up the final boss. One thing we're going to be doing quite a bit of in here is death warps, where we're going to take a bunch of damage from enemies to go to repair stations. We're actually going to do that at the very start here.
Yeah, so a curious thing about this game is that, unlike in several other Metroidvanias, save and quit is a little bit of a misnomer because quitouts don't actually save your progress, so even starting from the very first enemy of the game, we're going to be abusing death warps in order to take advantage of our repair stations across the map and return to them safely, or in this case, simply advance to one a little bit ahead of what walking would get us.
Yep, and so right here we just picked up the adjustable wrench item, which does a few things for us. Mostly it's our healing item, but it also lets us get into this weird state where if we hit a wall or a door, we can actually slide with it. It also can be used we can heal while doing that, but mostly it'll just be used as a faster movement than actual walking. We'll be doing that in a lot of spots throughout this run.
And you notice in the top right corner of the UI, the currently 0, that is our spare parts counter. That it doubles as both our healing resource throughout the run as well as the money in the run. Because healing takes money, going fast often involves not healing. We need money for a couple very specific things in this run, and fortunately the run is routed in such a way that we get most of the money right before we need it, but you want to be careful not to accidentally need to heal away too much of your money. You also drop some of it on death. Here, Allie's up against the first boss, Trash Compactor. They're one of two patterns it can give in the second phase there. We wanted to see this one, where Trash Compactor pulls stuff up from the ground before doing the multiple slam, so that you can just more or less damage tank through the falling bolts, and that's the Trash Compactor fight. Worth noting, the amount of scrap that basically everything drops in this game is actually random, further complicating our money routing. The way it works is the game chooses a random value of scrap for every piece thrown, and then every enemy and boss throws a certain number of pieces, so there is tremendous variance on what we can get. Fortunately, we don't need too much of it. And with that, Allie has picked up the wall jump, the electromagnet, to be formal about it.
Yep, we're going to be using that a ton. All the levels are built around being able to have that sort of movement. So it's a super important item that we really can't skip. And so now we're making our way with a quick death warp right there. We're actually going to pick up a chip here. The chips are similar to the badges in Paper Mario or the charms in Hollow Knight, and they let us change some things. In this case, this gives us a 10% chance at a critical hit. Which does how much damage again, Quack?
It is double damage. It is very kind. We pick up 2 chips over the course of this run. Infinity Edge, the crit chance chip, is literally right at your feet. It is basically impossible, with 1 or 2 asterisks, to avoid getting it in a playthrough of this game. So free, if RNG, extra damage is nice to have. And this movement here, Allie's going to be taking advantage of heal slides basically wherever, but we're just going to sort of walk down the central core, pausing to stare at the mainframe vault for a second there. Walk down to the central core to our next major piece of speed tech. So right away, this is a good quick lull if we have any donations or messages from our host for a minute or two.
We've got $25 from Raha. Let's go, Allie and Quack. $25 more from Cabbage. Let's go, Allie. So much support in here from all these donations. Thank you all so much. And $20 from Ooh. Go, Allie. Go.
Awesome.
Amazing.
So now
we are only $19 away from hitting the Love 3 100% upgrade. Let's do it, chat.
Alright, so now we're going to be doing another Death Warp. This one is quite different, though. This one has very little to do with actually changing where we're going to be at, and more about iframes. Correct, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so invincibility frames in this game are a curious thing. Every time you dunk into a hazard like Ali did there, you gain 4 seconds of iframes, and you can stack those infinitely, and they don't go away when you die. So there's supposed to be a boss here, but we're invincible. And when you're invincible in Haiku, you're actually off the collision layer that interacts with the triggers for bosses to spawn in, so we just walk right through. That was supposed to be a car battery boss. The car battery boss fight is incredibly RNG, and very few runners like it, so this being discovered makes the early game of the run so much smoother. It's worth noting that in true Metroidvania fashion, there are 3 major bosses that we're going to have to fight over the course of this run. It is possible to abuse iframes in a similar way, to walk right through them. However, unlike in similar games, if you're familiar with Hollow Knight, actually defeating the boss is what credits us towards progress to the final boss in this game, so we can't simply unspawn them. You have to spawn them in and actually fight them. Otherwise, this run would be a lot more iframe abuse than it already is.
So something you may have seen me do a few times at this point is going in and out of a room, and it will actually refresh the heat gauge in the top left. The heat gauge is what kind of like lets us have our certain amount of dashes or other abilities, but going into a room with a repair station will actually completely empty the heat gauge for us. So we're going to be doing that in quite a few spots. And we're making our way over to another movement area, but Quack wants to talk about a certain movement tech that we're going to be doing up here.
Yeah, so coming out, we're resetting this room to grab a cycle here. Coming up in just a second, you're going to notice a curious thing here, which is we get a little bit of a heightened jump there as we climb up the elevators. This was discovered very early on. Coyote frames in this game are very generous. You notice right at the beginning of the run when Ali slid off a platform and jumped from midair to reach the first rusty key. But coyote frames are so generous in this game that they happen even if you're landing from a jump. So by buffering a jump as you land and then jumping again, you can get a little bit of extra height that's going to be used throughout the run to gain extra height. And in a move completely unprecedented in the history of speedrunning, we decided to call this trick buffered landing jump, or, you know, BLJ for short. Something just sort of felt right. I don't know. So get your yahoos in chat.
Alright, so for here we're just doing movement for quite a while until we get to the next boss fight. So we've got a solid minute or so for donations if there's any more.
Of course, and no, I double-checked this one to make sure it isn't a haiku, but if you got any more haikus for me, chat, please be sure to send them in. Like here donates $25. Allison8Bit, speedrunning a robot game. Hope that it goes well. Thank you so much.
So here we are picking up our second. There was one in the earlier hallway of power cores. That is our on-hand money source in this game. There's an NPC in a little bit that we are going to be able to drop those power cores off, each being worth 100 spare parts. We're going to drop those off as late as we possibly can into the run so that we carry that 200 scrap all the way with us to where we need to spend it.
And yeah, we're just making our way here. There's like a lot of enemies that are going to kind of jump out at us. Luckily, they're not too bad to dodge. They're much worse when they're in the elevator shaft area. And yeah, so we're just making our way to the next boss fight, who is blocking an ability.
Yeah, coming up, we're going to be fighting a enormous buzzsaw. If you haven't picked up on the various robot theme of the run here, hi, welcome to Haiku the Robot. Buzzsaw is a boss that has a fairly well-defined weakness in that it is possible, at least on this patch of the game, the conventional speed patch, to simply pogo Buzzsaw forever, and there's nothing Buzzsaw can do about it. This was actually recently patched out to put spikes in the ceiling so that we couldn't, and as you see here with Ali, it is slightly faster to not pogo Buzzsaw forever. But tremendous shout outs to Mr. Morris for giving us this access to this speed patch free and easy so that we could continue abusing this poor buzzsaw. And with that, we're going to get a very recognizable ability. This is our Morph Ball.
Yep, body modifier as the game calls it, but yeah, we're just gonna call it ball from here on out. We're gonna use that to get into some tight areas like this. And if I can do this right, you can actually stand up in these tunnels, so we're gonna use that to do another death warp right here. This will take us back to that repair station way before. As you noticed, when we got into Pinion's Expanse, it actually locked us in, but we didn't take a repair station in there, so it keeps us on the other side of it, which makes it super easy to maneuver. Otherwise, you have to do a whole movement through with the ball to go through another area to get back in there.
Yep, so this is Quater. He's going to give us our money. We're going to take that right away to get our sealant treatments. Our sealant treatment singular. There are 2 in this one little room right at the top of Central Core here. We care about the heat treatment. There is also a water treatment that we're going to skip. And it will only have one small consequence later in the run, but this will let us move through hot areas without taking damage. Allie's also performing a bit of a skip there by rolling up the edge of the platform that it deposits you in. You can interact with the second sealant, and it will cancel the animation of you picking up the first one. Minor time save there. But we're on our way to grab the Bulblet ability, Lantern. We're going to be fighting what the game considers technically to be a boss, but it's a pretty easy boss fight if you ask me.
It's tried its best, okay?
So now we're going to jump in here, and we're actually going to do this 4 times, which will give us 16 seconds of iframes, which compare with when combined with dashes, which actually give us 0.2 seconds of iframes as well to extend our iframes. We're going to use this to just skip a damage tank that we could potentially do in this next section.
Yeah, and so this is the hot area we bought sealant for. There's the iframe abuse right there. You'll notice also that Haiku is permanently overheated while in this area, so that shuts off the ability to grounded dash. It shuts off some other movement abilities that we don't actually have right now. Fortunately, it does not actually shut off your ability to heal. While healing does increase your heat, you can still perform it while overheated, which is of massive safety convenience for this run, although hopefully we won't be needing it in Burner. That is one of 2 hot areas we have to go through in this run.
I mean, now that I think about it, have I healed a single time yet?
I think we're rocking just the slides.
Lots of heal slides, not a lot of damage. And still, yeah, we're on our way to get the next ability, which is super far out of the way compared to everything else. Everything else is very centralized, but this one...
Do I detect a good time to potentially read some donations?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, we got $150 from Vagger_BB. 80K hype? $10 from Serpin. Allison8Bit. Cute and also crushing it. Thanks. Less than 3.
Amazing.
Osmandius donates $25 with no comment, but thank you so much. And sorry. Go ahead, take it away.
I was just gonna say, the one thing from the Sunken Waste section is we equipped a chip that we picked up in Bunker there. Gyro Accelerator, that is faster roll. We're going to... there's no specific abuse for faster roll, it's just that it was on our way enough, and rolling faster is good when you're trying to go fast. This ability is Space Disruptor, which we're gonna call Blink. Blink gives you an advanced form of the heal slide from before. By healing as soon as you blink, you can slide very quickly across the ground. And we're gonna take another Death Warp. Because Blink is a teleport, the collision in this game is very, very good. Mr. Morris did a lot of work to make sure that you can't just teleport places you shouldn't, with basically exactly 2 exceptions, and we're going to abuse both of them. So that's one. You can teleport through a transition that is supposed to open up after you pick up the bombs, but by just teleporting in, we can grab bombs from the back, technically, which saves a ton of walking around. And because of the iframes from the Death Warp, we can just fall through all of these lasers. It's very convenient.
Yeah, they even last through that enemy right there. They last so long for that small section. And now we're on to the first of the creators, the big storyline bosses. Back even.
This is Electron. He is our first of 2 laser bosses. Electron's basically a pushover. You're ideally looking to just... Bosses in this game have relatively well-defined attack cycles. There are typically 2 different attack patterns they can throw. This will be a very big thing with the next major boss we fight, but that is also true for Electron here. So with good crit RNG and good piling on damage, we can get through 2 major phases of this. Ali is also taking some intentional damage across this fight. That is because as soon as the fight ends, we're actually going to Death Warp. Whenever you defeat a creator, it plays a little cutscene where it upgrades your sword technically, or absorbs its spirit into your sword. Not exactly sure. Speedrun brain is engaged here. But by dying as the boss sort of finishes its death animation, we can skip out of that cutscene and save a fair bit of time. That cutscene skip was actually discovered by one Allison8Bit.
That is very true. Yeah, so that was a huge time save we found because it's just such a long cutscene. And we were still going to try to death warp out of there, so I just tried one day, like, can I just do a death warp before the cutscene starts? And it apparently worked. So now we're on our way to pick up the most contended about if it's needed or not item, the grapple, or the hook and string.
Yeah, so this is infinite horizontal movement for in ground and air, making it slightly more useful than blink slides. It also obviously does not deplete your scrap if you do it for too long. There are 2 major routes to the any percent run, one which grabs this and one which doesn't. They are basically neck and neck with each other in terms of viability, but grabbing grapple hook is considered to be significantly more comfortable, just because more movement is never a bad thing. Something else that's worth talking about is you notice that these flying bulbs have started glowing red a little bit recently. When you defeat, in air quotes, the bulb hive and grab the lantern, everything in Central Core becomes incredibly enraged, which makes them fly faster and seek you much more aggressively, making this section some very obnoxious movement, because they can sort of trap you in these tiny corridors. We're fine, everything is fine. But fortunately we are through that. That's the last we're going to see of those aggro bulbs.
Yep. And actually, this is the last repair station we're going to use. We're going to death warp one more time in this run, and it's going to be to get back here to fight the final boss, who's in that mainframe bolt that we just passed.
Really quick, the Love 3 100% incentive has been met. Thank you all so much for your generous donations. And we do have another incentive for Love 3, where if we reach $2,000, we're going to have $115 towards that incentive. Charbunny will show off the developers' pets in the speedrun.
Ooh.
Right.
So this is Bunker. This is the area where the BLJs are going to be worth their weight in absolute gold. Allie's also going to duck into a repair station room there to get the heat refresh. And this is our final blink abuse. This was discovered relatively early into the lifespan of Haiku, but lever gates are supposed to be coded so that they are unblinkable through because the game wants you to hit the lever. However, there's a little bit of wall above that lever gate that was not so well foolproofed, and so that skips about half of Bunker. We also are obliged morally to dunk in that basketball hoop. There is an achievement you get for doing that, but also it's an important feature of the run. And
I think that was my first hit.
Yeah, we're doing good. Coming up here, this is Neutron. Neutron is probably I won't speak for Allie here, least favorite boss in the run. Neutron is a big laser boss. In the first phase, there are 2 different attack patterns that he can give you. There's one where he shoots lasers while rolling around the stage, and there's one where he shoots lasers more or less stationary. This is the good one. The slow-moving laser gives us time to pile on a lot of damage. In Neutron's second phase, which he'll do one more attack pattern here, ideally we want to see slow laser a second time, because in phase 2 of the fight, Neutron has an enormous giga laser, and it is just barely possible, with a little bit of luck, to skip the laser phase. So Allie, as you see her wall climbing there to try and pile on as much damage as possible at the start of phase 2. This looks a little bit dicey. We might miss it, but fortunately, there is a very funny looking backup. So that's the laser you want to avoid, but you can also just sit inside of it. And that's the neutron fight.
Well done.
Yeah, some intentional damage tanks here, so that's one of the reasons we wanted to make sure we had spare parts before this section. And unfortunately, we can't death warp out of this boss. There's just nothing that we can take damage to here after the fight. And if we took damage from Neutron before Neutron was defeated, we'd have to fight them again, so. And yeah, so from here on out, we're mostly just trying to make sure we're keeping our heat empty, because we're going to be doing a pretty dicey movement section where we have to run through hazards. I'm going to constantly take damage.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick trip to the surface of the world here where it is raining, and because we did not get the water sealant earlier, we're going to take environmental damage from the rain. Fortunately, that is why the grapple route for any percent is considered much comfier, because grapple lets you zip all the way across these rooms. So ideally we're looking to take a maximum of 2 damage here. We can get through that first room without taking any, and then we'll take 1 here. And we can theoretically take 0 in the final room, but it's a bit dicey. Yeah, so 2 damage there, and because of some safeties we took along the route in order to get a little bit of extra scrap, we will be more than comfy for the final boss. Well, the final, non-final, but the final of the 3 creators.
We hit that little lever right there. It's not needed, but it's just like a nice little safety in case something really bad happens at this last boss that we're gonna fight. If I take damage at all, I can slow down to heal.
Yeah, this is Furnace. It is another hot area. You see that Allie's overheated here. One other important piece of movement is you noticed a lot in that first room in particular, jumping out of a morph ball preserves a little bit extra of your horizontal momentum, like it preserves the increased speed from morph ball. So we use it to get through these platforming sections much more conveniently than otherwise. In particular, this sort of advancing staircase becomes considerably freer when you are morph balling before your jumps.
All right, so yeah, this could be the final boss before the final boss. Final regular boss, the creator for the storyline, and then we're gonna have the last boss we'll fight after this.
Yeah, so this is Proton. The most annoying thing about the fight is just that you're overheated, so you can't blink through any of his attacks. In particular, there's a phase 2 attack where he just drops a giant wall of these little flaming goop projectiles that requires either damage tank or some relatively slow getting around it. But fortunately, Proton is at a low enough height that you can just stand and up slash, and you'll be able to hit him. See, this is that attack that we don't want. And of course, Proton's going to give it to us several times. But that was a very good Proton. So once again, Allie's going to death warp out of this. We wait a little bit. You want to wait until you see sort of the tendrils appear around the boss in order to death warp out to get the cutscene skip here. And we're on to the Virus, the final any percent boss. Virus is an absolute monster casually, was a hard wall for most people I know playing this game, but fortunately, we figured out pretty early on that unlike a lot of bosses, in between phases when Virus screams, it is still vulnerable to attacks, so we have to play a little bit conservatively, maybe, for phase 1, and then as soon as you see it scream going into phase 2, you just go absolutely ham and pile on the damage, and you can damage race it very effectively. Especially if we get some good crits, which are mostly being kept from Allie right now, which is a bit unfortunate. But nope, still got the double scream. That's what you want. So time is coming up. It'll be on the fade to black after Allie becomes the sword here. Cute little movement abuse at the end. And
time.
GG, Allie.
That's actually a
Jeez, well
small
done.
PB.
Hey!
PB?
Let's go.
On stage, let's go. Congratulations.
What was
Thank
the
you.
load? What was the load this time?
2339.
Hey.
So
How much? What was your previous PB at?
2342. So a very small
Not
PB.
bad,
but
not bad.
Some
Hey.
good goals at the end.
You know what you say? A PB is a PB, no matter how small, right? I'm sure
Absolutely.
someone's got a haiku for that.
So yeah, a few shout outs. Mr. Morris for making such a fantastic game for us and being so great to the community. Like worked with us to help make things like a randomizer and the entire like auto splitter and a bunch of other like things for us. Made sure we had this patch available for this. So big shout outs to him. Shout outs to the Haiku community. There's like a bunch of us. A lot of us are like Metroidvania fans from different games, but it's a great thing. And thanks for GDQ and Flame Fatales for letting us be here. I do a bunch of different Metroidvania and other game speedruns. You can find me on Twitch. I stream quite a bit. And Quack.
Yeah, I want to underscore just how amazing Mr. Morris has been throughout this process and throughout the development life of Haiku the Robot. There's a randomizer mod in development right now for the game. There's more content planned for Haiku. Haiku was just ported to the Switch. It's an incredible speed game, an incredible speed community. And yeah, shout out to everyone. Go follow twitch.tv/Allison8Bit for a whole boatload of speedruns. But yeah, thanks also to FF for having us. It's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, and I think that's all from us. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks again, Allison8Bit, for that wonderful Haiku the Robot run and a PB on Flame Fatales. You just love to see it, chat. You just love to see it. We have $19 from Non-Binary Code that says, category upgrade, you say? And that was the dodo that led us to the 100% upgrade of Love 3, which is going to be coming up next. $25 from Mathulu. I love that name, by the way. Allie runs with Quack Comms. Could not ask for more. Best of luck. Mika donates $25. Such amazing gaming here, Allie and Quack on comms is always a treat. They really were. What a fantastic run that was. The Knight Who Goes Knee donates $50. Here's to all the excellent runners, commentators, and staff behind the scenes for making another excellent event for charity. Y'all are amazing. Less than 3. $25 from Corrosive Frost. Less than 3. Less than 3. Less than 3. And less than 3. Chat, can we get some less than 3s in chat? I'd love to see it. I'd less than 3 to see it. Billy Phoenix donates $25. Less than 3. Surprise, surprise. Cool Maddie donates $500. Whoever hears this will be cursed with the irresistible urge to donate. Chat, I'm not sure how y'all can cure that curse, but I imagine it involves donations. And everybody, we're going to be taking a quick break. Don't go anywhere because coming up very soon is going to be a run of Love 3 100% thanks to your generous donations by Char Money. Welcome back from the break, everybody. I hope y'all got a good and nice stretch. We have $10 from an Onyx Mouse. The requested PB Haiku. We must celebrate. A PB is a PB, no matter how small. That is a confirmed haiku. We also have $25 from Tozzle. Here's $15, one per death for my run, and an extra $10 to get in all these fantastic prizes. Less than 3. Speaking of prizes, I believe we are ready to hear from our prize team about some of the wonderful prizes you could be entered to win here at Flame Fatales.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Flame Fatales 2022. My name is Sent, and as always, I'm here to tell you all about some of the amazing prizes that you all can win by donating during the marathon. Now, all the prizes I'm going to be talking about are available all day today until the end of that Elden Ring run later tonight. Assuming we get that in the marathon, we need to hit $80,000 in total to make that happen, but I know you all certainly can make that happen, and I'm going to tell you a $25 donation is going to get you entered into everything I'm about to talk about and more, and $150 cumulatively is going to get you entered into all of that, plus our amazing grand prize, which is a combination of an OLED model Switch and a PlayStation 5, two of the hottest, newest consoles around. But come on, without further ado, let's look at some of the cool stuff we've got. From our good friends over at Retro Flame, we have a pair of more great candles from them. We've got a fairy fountain themed candle from the Legend of Zelda series, as well as Ridley's Breath here from the Metroid series. Fairy fountain, I believe, is sea salt and orchids. It's got a real nice floral. I've never understood why sea salt is blue. You know, Kingdom Hearts sea salt ice cream. It's always that like really bright blue. Never got it, but I love the floral scent of the orchids here. I think it's incredible. And Ridley's Breath. I saw someone in chat ask why you would want a candle that smells like Ridley's Breath. The answer is they're good candles, Bront. They're good candles. Also because it smells like a very strong cinnamon. It is absolutely wonderful. Both of these are available individually as a $5 minimum donation. Thank you so much to Retro Flame for sending them out to us. From our good friend Billy Phoenix, we've got a couple of fun prizes here. First off, we've got a Switch copy of Hades. We are going to be seeing a co-op 3-weapon run of Hades a little bit later tonight. Make sure to stay tuned. You don't want to miss that. Hades is such an incredible speed game. So much, space for player ingenuity and just comfortability with different weapons and different aspects. Always a joy to see in a marathon. Hades, excellent game. If you haven't played it, you definitely should. As well as this lovely amiibo of Link from Link's Awakening. I'm going to be honest, I didn't realize there was a Link's Awakening amiibo, specifically. I'm not a big amiibo collector, but I thought this was really cool when I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, it's got the chibi art style of the game. Super cool. Thank you so much to Billy Phoenix for sending out both of these to us. This is a $10 minimum donation, and the copy of Hades was a $5 minimum donation. Now, from Minturn Makers, we have a set of not one, but 4 absolutely lovely wooden rupee coasters. Trying to get them under the light here so you can see the rupees on them. There we go. We've got a lovely gold one, a silver one, a blue one here, as well as a red rupee. You get all 4 of them together, as well as a lovely holder for these coasters. They're absolutely, they're great. I love woodwork. I love, when you, I don't even know what the process is called when you ingrain these colored lines into blocks of wood. It is super fantastic. Big fan of that. Big fan of them. So thank you so much to Minturn Makers. Again, $25 minimum donation is going to get you entered into these and all of the other prizes that I'm going to talk about. They're also cool. If you haven't gotten $25 in today already, you definitely should. And remember, something important to point out, you don't have to specifically put that donation towards any of these prizes. Hey, if you're interested in winning these lovely coasters, you don't have to say, I'm going to donate $25. I want the coasters. Put this towards the coasters. No, all you have to do is donate at least $25 while they're available. And in the case of the coasters, and in the case of everything I'm about to talk about, they are available all day today. So just get that donation in, and then you can put that donation towards one of the lovely incentives that we have to, do different things in the marathon or make runs a little bit harder. I think right now we actually have an incentive to save Marin in the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening run coming up a little bit later. We need $3.5 thousand to make that happen, and I think we're only just around $500. Definitely have some time before that run happens, before that incentive needs to be met. But that's what you can put your donations towards. You've got it, Twitch chat. You should definitely go for it. Let's move on. Let's talk about some more stuff because we've got so much cool stuff here to talk about for sure. From Caroline Design, we have this absolutely incredible Metroid Dread black light painting. It is so cool. I mean, it just captures the essence of Metroid in itself, and I have apparently taken the blacklight out of my pocket. So, if you want to see what this painting looks like under a blacklight, don't go anywhere. Make sure to watch the stream all day, because I'll be back later to show you just how absolutely ridiculous this is. And I mean, again, already, this is like an acrylic on canvas painting. Like, I know it looks like a chalk drawing that someone has done on a piece of paper. Nope, it is a beautiful canvas here. It's actually signed on the back by Caroline, which is, just a lovely little thing they do on all of their amazing work. It's so cool. When I first saw this, my initial reaction was like, this is kind of like Samus playing laser tag. That's the vibe I get from it. Absolutely love it. It's so cool. $20 minimum donation. Make sure to get those donations in. From Core, we have Trico, the pillow. Look, we waited like 12 years for The Last Guardian. Ico fans, I know you're out there. Shadow of the Colossus fans, I know you're out there. We waited a long time for this game. It was worth the wait. It's a good dog, bird, cat. What are you? Whatever it is, it's absolutely incredible. This is done in a minky fabric, and I'm not sure if this specific project was done with a recycled material, but I know in the past, a lot of the prizes that Core has submitted have actually been made using entirely recycled materials. I know they are a big fan of making sure that, everything gets use and gets to become something absolutely beautiful. And I mean, come on, this is an incredible pillow. It's so cool. It is a functional pillow, by the way. It's, it's squishy, it's fluffy. You can toss it around here. Actual pillow for comparison. Boring pillow, great pillow. $20 minimum donation. Thank you so much to Core for sending it out to us. And for a $25 minimum donation, and talking about Hades a little earlier, we have this incredible Hades shadow box from Esclair Studios. Richard, you want to zoom in on that for me? I'll hold it up for you. You can see it's got the entire journey that Zagreus takes through the different realms of the game on the way to the surface, all done in paper. Yeah, this is layered paper to create a 3-dimensional effect. This is just like, here, I'll turn it for you so you can see. It is such a cool piece. Esclair Studios' work is absolutely incredible. $25 minimum donation. I believe they sell these for like $150 or something. So get those donations in. You could go home with this absolutely lovely shadow box. And thank you so much to our friends over at Esclair Studios for sending it out to us. We have all of the prizes I've talked about. We have so many more incredible ones. Make sure you get in a $25 minimum donation today. Make sure you've donated $150 cumulatively in any number of donations throughout the marathon so that you are eligible for that PlayStation 5 and a Nintendo Switch OLED edition grand prize, because that is super cool. And I want you all to make sure you head over to gamesdonequick.com if you're not already there, because it's going to tell you everything you need to know about the marathon. It's going to give you all the information on all the upcoming speed runs that are going on tonight. You don't want to miss any of them. So again, I'm waiting for that Hades run. I'm super excited for that, but there are so many great runs today. It's going to give you all the information on the prizes that you can win, not just what they look like, but who's provided them to us, and all of the information, how much you need to donate for them that you could ever want. And of course, it's going to give you all the information on incentives that you can put those donations towards, because again, you don't have to specifically donate to the prizes. Make sure to get your donations in for an incentive as well when you are donating to win some of these incredible prizes. Now, I need you all to do one more thing for me, and that is I need you all to give some love, 3, to our favorite host lead, Charbunny, as we head back up to the front and get ready for a run of Love 3. Stay tuned.
Wow, those prizes sure looked incredible. And if you were curious about an incentive that you wanted to put your money towards, while donating for these prizes, I got a good one for you. That is the Developer Pets incentive for the Love 3 speedrun coming up momentarily. We're currently sitting at $400-ish, about out of the $2,000 needed, so about $1,600 more, and Char Bunny will show off the developers' pets in the Love 3 speedrun. So let's see if we can get there, chat, I believe. We've had so many generous donations come in, and we're just going to go through a couple of them. We have $25 from Cam1881. Oh no, the curse. It got me. Totally worth it. Well, Cam, you are now free from the curse, so don't worry about it. Carrarium donates $5, a personal best in front of all the fatales. What a way to start. GG Allison, less than 3, money goes to Pet Cam. Elsie donates $25. Is it too late for a haiku? Well, here it goes anyway. No, it's not too late. Ma'am, are you there, ma'am? It is me, a frame fatale. Cold drinks for you, ma'am. Man. Taco Von Dutch donates $250. This run has come so far, and I've been so excited to see Char run this on stage. Here's to first cycles and good helicopter sections. Vibrosef donates $50. Good luck, Char. We're rooting for you. Much love from the Frame Fatale leads. Less than 3. Onyx Wolf donates $25. Let's get there. And you may ask, where are we going? Well, the big milestone incentive today is to reach $80,000. And if so, we're going to cap off the evening with an any percent Elden Ring run. DeMagico donates $10. It's been an awesome week so far. I love the cause that this is going to. Let's get started with some awesome speedruns today. Keep on keeping on. Less than 3. Chat, less than 3 makes me very happy for arbitrary reasons. So let's see some less than 3s in chat. I will never, ever, ever get tired of seeing that. Moe's Medley donates $5. Thank you, all of the runners. I hope everyone has a lovely and productive day. Fox Fossil donates $50 with a smiley face. Thank you so much. Alchem donates $25. Hi, let's support girls all around the world. We have a $50 donation from Roberts. Thank you, everyone, for this great event. Keep it on. You are all doing a fantastic job. Less than 3. We have a $20 donation from Brian. This marathon has been so entertaining. I had no idea I enjoyed learning about speedruns. Keep up the great work, everyone, and thank you for doing it for a great cause. There are so many wonderful things to donate for this afternoon, this evening, or wherever you are. And we just opened up 2 new ones for runs tomorrow. We have a bid war for Pokemon Legends Arceus to choose the main character's name used for the Pokemon Legends Arceus speedrun. It has a 12-character limit, so get your donations in if you would like a preference of yours to be made in. We also opened up a bid war for Phantasy Star 4 Profound Disorder, where you can choose the party members that will be used in the run. The top 5 will be used. So you have a good shot of getting something in if you're in early. We have $10 from Marshmallow Smelter. Flame Fatales is such an amazing group. I'm happy to help support the event, the community, and Malala Fund. Less than 3. Every time I read a less than 3, it just makes me smile, everybody. Thank you all so much. Skater43 donates $10. Congrats on getting to show off this run, Char. Been a pleasure to watch your streams and see all the progress you've made these past couple of months. Time to take back the 100% world record. Smiley face. Mr. Game and Shout donates $5. Can we get some love for Frozen Flygon? Yeah, chat. Let's go. Let's get some less than threes for Frozen Flygon. I saw her lurk around the chat. I bet she's here right now. Speedrunner, streamer, host, prize presenter, leader of Frame Fatales, and somehow still finds time to be one of the most warm and wholesome people I know. Thank you for all your hard work and for sharing your passion with all of us in the audience. I'm beyond honored to call you a friend and can't wait to see you at future events. And we are ready to kick off the Love 3 100% run by Charbunny. Charbunny, best of luck.